I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, the weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're going to be taking a closer look at Avengers Standoff Pleasant Hill Omega #1. It's a mouthful of a title for what ended up being one hell of an event. It's the final issue. Let's see if they can stick the landing. Let's see what cosmic character might be making a return, and let's see how this will affect the future of the Marvel Universe, shall we?
So, as the comic opens, Baron Zemo goes about his merry way executing S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. He says that in a way, a quick bullet to the head is kind of a mercy, unlike the inhumane treatment the villains suffered at the hands of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Pleasant Hill experiment. The other agents he vows to keep alive, if only to use as test subjects for his machine that will subjugate the Kobik godchild and in turn allow him to subjugate everyone else's will to his whim. And where is Kobik right now? Well, having a tea party with Kraven the Hunter, of course. Where else? Hey, just because she has the power to rewrite reality doesn't mean she's still just a kid at heart and can easily be tricked. From there, we transition on over to Agent Avril. Now, she's kind of been a background player in this event so far, but she really takes center stage this issue. In fact, she narrates a good chunk of the story. You see, while heroes have been busy battling villains, she's been working on trying to get the super weapon that Maria Hill stashed here in Pleasant Hill, and that weapon turns out to be none other than the Quantum Bands, owned by Quasar himself, the cosmic superhero and former Avenger. Wendell Vaughn, as we discover, had lost control of his quantum bands, and fearing for his safety and the safety of those around him, he took a cushy job with S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America rallies the different Avengers teams together and gives them a rousing speech that only Steve Rogers in his prime could do. Now, of course, this is Nick Spencer we're dealing with, a man who does comedy just as well as he does drama, and he takes this chance to make some really fun Avengers jokes. Hey, Captain America, you were young, no kidding, Tony Stark was young once too. Hey, Quicksilver and Captain America fighting side by side again, it's like the kooky quartet is back together. And in the middle of it all, you have the new young heroes like Nova, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Kamala Khan just soaking this experience up. The heroes valiantly raid Zemo's compound, which leads to a massive brawl between all the heroes and the slighted supervillains who are fighting that much harder now. It's a race against the clock for the heroes to try and get to Zemo before he can use Kobik as a weapon. Unfortunately, the Fixer has built a massive shield around them. Luckily, the heroes have an ace in the hole in the form of Agent Avril, who comes out as the new Quasar. Freed from the villain's trap, the godchild Kobik is really upset, but more than that, she's totally lost faith in humanity throughout this whole situation. She's tired of being lied to, tired to being used, and in the end, she ends up punishing both Zemo and Dr. Selvig. No, she doesn't kill them, she just transports them all the way to the Himalaya so they can think about what they've done. With their leadership gone, the rest of the supervillains decide to get going while the going's good, only to be run down by Dum Dum Dugan and the rest of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Aw, Dugan even says this is for the Howling Commandos. Aw, Dugan, I'm sorry, the villains didn't cancel the book. With the day more or less saved, the fallout comes not long after. The World Security Council absolutely throws the book at Maria Hill, and I mean, honestly, she deserved it. She was the villain of this book when you break it down. She tries to weasel out of it, saying, hey, you know, only 6 people were killed and most of the villains were apprehended. The Avengers agreed to stay quiet about the whole thing until everything's blown over. And why even Rick Jones, the whistleblower who started all of this, he's decided to stay quiet too in exchange for more or less of a pardon and to work with his buddy Captain America in his own solo book coming soon. Even the new Quasar, who is currently being trained by Vaughn, can be counted amongst S.H.I.E.L.D.'s many assets now. But none of this is good enough for the Security Council. I mean, come on, Maria Hill created a super weapon in secret, then lost it. Speaking of which, where did Kobik get off to, you're wondering? Well, she's decided to hook on up with Winter Soldier now. I mean, as far as she's concerned, everyone is scared of her now. People used to be scared of Bucky too, but he won them back, so she's gonna hang out with him for a little bit. Why, she's even decided to bring along some friends with her like Mach 7, Moonstone, and the Tinkerer. Want to see more of their adventures? Go read that new Thunderbolts book that's gonna come out soon. Maria Hill is stripped of her authority and power within S.H.I.E.L.D., but will still be kept around in something of a figurehead role, and this couldn't have come at the worst time either, because as she warns, the real fight is just about to begin. What fight is being referred to? Well, you gotta understand, a lot of this comic is being narrated in the past tense, and Agent Avril says some really bad stuff happened right after this, not the least of which being the return of the Red Skull, who's decided with the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. weakened, now would be the perfect time to build up Hydra Hydra, bigger than ever before, as one new nation under him. Avengers Standoff Omega #1 was one hell of a finale to what ended up being one hell of an event in my mind. While the Avengers may have got the front title, at the end of the day this was a Captain America story through and through, and one of the best ones I've read in a long time. All throughout this story, Steve and Sam struggle to find their place in the world, and eventually they hit upon the idea that America is a big place with a lot of different people, and hey, if this world can deal with 2 Spider-Men, why not deal with 2 Captain Americas, right? I also appreciated the moral grayness of the story. Like I said, Maria Hill was the villain at the end of the day. Now you could argue that what she did was justified, and you could just as easily argue that the villains came out a little bit more sympathetic in this story. Overall, there's very little I have to complain about this story. I just hope the follow-up Civil War 2 can actually live up to the standards set by this new event. I would give this one a much-deserved 10 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Kate Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.